Welcome everyone to the final 2014 Making an Impact YouTube show. I am your host, Simply Sensational Billy James, and as you know, I always wear my TNA t-shirts when I'm doing these shows. This week I am wearing, and I'll stand up so you can see it, this is my Impact Wrestling t-shirt that I got at my second TNA house show, and that was in the brown bag special. Anyway, final Impact Wrestling. Interesting nevertheless. We had a triple threat match for the TNA Knockouts title. Havok defending against Gail Kim and Terrell. We also guaranteed a new X Division Champion. So last week Samoa Joe vacated the title. We're going to crown a new champion in a fatal four-way. Manik, Tigre Uno, DJZ, and Loki, who will be the new X Division Champion. Also, the Sarge, Chris Mendez, takes on Kenny King. And in a hardcore rules match, it is Bram taking on the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. And much more. Also, we're going to talk about the fate of TNA. It's been revealed. What is going to happen? Is TNA going to stay on the air? We're going to talk about that too in the show. Got a lot to get to, and hey, let's just get right into it. First match tonight was the triple threat match for the Knockouts title. Gail Kim versus Terrell versus Havok in a triple threat match. Well, Taryn and Gail sort of worked together as a team as they went after Havok at the beginning of the match, with Havok fighting them off. There was this one sweet spot in the early part of the match where Havok was on the outside of the ring after Gail had gotten the octopus submission hold on her, while Taryn went for a submission move of her own. Anyway, Havok was on the outside of the ring. Taryn came off the top rope for a crossbody, only to be caught by Havok, and Havok turns it into a hot shot, sending Taryn face first into the guardrails. And by the way, these guardrails are steel. Okay. Then she takes out Gail with a hard power slam to the mat. And when I'm talking about the mat, I'm talking about the floor mat. Not much padding there between that and the concrete floor. Still back and forth in this match. There was periods in the match where Gail and Taryn were going at it with each other. Havok was able to come back, and she would dominate the both of them. But they fought through it. In the end, Gail hits the eat defeat, followed by Taryn hitting a cutter, and they take Havok out of the equation. Gail goes for a victory roll, but Taryn's able to reverse it. 1, 2, 3. Terrell is your new Knockouts champion, holding the championship for the very first time in her career, and this is her first major title. She never held a title when she was in the WWE. I do know she held the Ohio Valley Wrestling women's title, but I'm talking about major. So this is a big coup for her. I said this last year that she was going to be Knockouts champion because she was my choice for Knockout to watch. And unfortunately, you know, she was sidelined with her pregnancy, but she's come back, and now she's the TNA Knockouts champion. All I can say is you need to go and watch this match, because this is what women's wrestling is all about. This was a phenomenal match. I mean, I give it 4 stars. This is how good of a match it was, okay? You gotta watch this match. I thought it was good, and congrats to Gail. Gail put on a great match. Havok did a great job. Taryn shows how much she's really improved. So congrats to Terrell for being the new TNA Knockouts champion. What holds her in the future? Well, you got Havok. If we don't know what's going to be going on in 2015, but there's Havok on the horizon. Beautiful people, maybe Brittany, or maybe my girl Brooke. That would work for me. Or maybe a certain former knockout, the greatest female wrestler of all time, might come back. Who knows? It could happen, but I'm not saying it will. But anyway, congrats to Terrell, your new TNA Knockouts champion. Okay, we had the Sarge, Chris Mendez, taking on King. Not a bad match. Of course, King, dominated the early part of the match. Was impressed with a couple of moves from Chris Mendez. He was able to get that prosthetic leg up and nailed King face first. He did it a couple of times, including a running one, which was quite impressive for him. Average match, they would mix it up, and Mendez would slowly get the advantage, and then King would do something like rake his eyes to get back. But Mendez hit a nice fisherman suplex on King and was really working him over in the match. Toward the end of the match, MVP came down, interfered using a steel chair, nailing Mendez in the back, and then he went to town, brutally beating him. I mean, it was a brutal beatdown. And of course, Mendez wins by disqualification. Mr. Anderson comes down. He chases off MVP and King. Of course, King at first is like, dude, what are you doing to MVP? And then, of course, he starts jaw-jacking and trash-talking Mendez. Where's this going? I have no idea. I would probably say in 2014 we may see a tag team match, Anderson and Mendez versus MVP and King. I do believe we've seen this before, but I think we'll see it again. But we don't know what's going to happen in 2015. They may just say, hey, restart, forget everything you knew. So we'll just have to wait and see. This was an average segment. I mean, if you missed it, it's not a big deal. But, if you want to catch it, do it. But it was average. I really don't know what more to say about it. We had EC3 along with Tigre come down to the ring, and EC3 talked about having some business to deal with Spud, and he talked about how he took out not only Spud, but he took out Eric Young, and he slapped Jeremy Borash so hard his family died. I was like, whoa, when he said that. He dared Rockstar Spud to come down to the ring to fight him, and Rockstar Spud comes down. I swear to God, the outfit he was wearing was ridiculous. It looked like a freaking brick. It was stupid. Stupid! Anyway, dares him to fight him and hit him in the face, and Spud refuses, says, I'm going to nail you, and the gonads it, which he does, and that just pisses EC3 off, and he goes to town and he beats the shit out of Spud. Then Tyrus comes in the ring, puts him in the camel clutch, and EC3 trash talks him more, talking about he's going to take him piece by piece, and then he pulls out a pair of scissors and cuts some of Spud's hair. I like EC3. I think he's a great heel character. I think he's done a great job since he's come in the TNA. But for the love of God, I do not want to see Rockstar Spud versus EC3. But it looks like that's where they're heading. It sucks, but it is what it is. So that's all I have to say about that. got our hardcore match. Bram, who is declared himself the new king of hardcore, taking on the innovator of violence. That's right, Tommy Dreamer. And they went at it. They had everything you could possibly get your hands on. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, trash cans, you name it, they had it. They beat the crap out of each other back and forth. There was times that, there was one time that Dreamer, Tommy dropped him straight onto the chair in the gonads. Woohoo, singing soprano. I guarantee you, the night they filmed that match, Charlotte didn't get laid that night. But it was a brutal match. At one point, Magnus came down and interfered, which no disqualification in a hardcore's real match. And guess who comes down to save the day? Well, if you're thinking Devon, wrong. Think head. You got it. Al Snow came down. He chases Magnus to the back of the ring. Now this is where it gets real sick, because underneath the ring, Tommy Dreamer went and got a barbed wire wrapped steel cage, and he sets it up in the ring corner. He tries to send Bram into it. Bram avoids it. He sends Tommy Dreamer head first into it, and then he hits a nasty DDT to get the win. These two guys were bloodied in the head. Matter of fact, there was one point in the match where Tommy Dreamer took a cheese grater to Bram's head. It was that violent. I give Bram credit. Let me tell you, he's done a tremendous job in these hardcore matches. Monsters Ball match, Stairway the Janice match. He takes a beating in these matches. So give him props for doing these type of matches. But in the end, Bram is your winner. Good match. Should catch it if you missed it. It's well worth watching. I thought it was a good hardcore match. What are we going to see next? Possibly another tag team match, but this time it'd be Bram and Magnus taking on the team of Tommy Dreamer and Al Snow, possibly. That'd be cool. I like to see Al Snow back in the ring. He's still got it. So, anyway, good match. Need to check it out. All right, guys? We had the Fatal 4-Way match to decide who will be the new TNA X Division match. And boy, did we have a lot of spot fest spots during this match. I think the best spot in this whole match was Manik had Tigre Uno in a surfboard and had him raised up in the air. DJZ tries to get a pinfall because he slides in between Tigre Uno and gets in so he could pin Manik, who is has his back to the mat, not his shoulders, but his back to the mat. But with the weight of DJZ, it would allow him to pin him. However, that didn't happen because Loki came off the top rope with the Warrior's Way onto Tigre Uno, which caused Tigre Uno to go into DJZ, which put pressure on Manik. It was a nice, sweet spot during this match. I mean, a lot of aerial moves. At one point, Magnus hit a nice crossbody that caused Loki to go out to the middle of the ring. It was just, I mean, it was just really a great match. I mean, I don't know, words can't describe this match. However, Loki was able to avoid a Hurricanrana attempt off the top rope by Tigre Uno, pushes him off. He's able, well, actually doesn't push him off, but he's able to counter it. Excuse me, he didn't push him off. He countered it with the key crush and got the 1, 2, 3, becomes the new X Division Champion. So that is great for Loki. It's been a long time since he's been X Division Champion. So it looks like Loki's going to be around for a while, and this is good for us because Loki's probably one of the best X Division superstars TNA has had. So what does the future hold for the X Division? We don't know yet. We'll have to see in 2015, but with Loki as your X Division Champion, it's going to be pretty damn interesting for sure. Definitely you want to catch this match because I have to say it's a tie between this match and the Triple Threat Knockouts match as the best match of the night. Both saw new champions, so definitely you gotta go and check this out. I'm telling you, you gotta check it out. Loki is your new TNA X Division Champion. Be interested to see a match between Samoa Joe and Loki now that Loki's the champion. Remember, Samoa Joe was able to dominate Loki in several of their matches for the title, and he was able to retain. So, could Joe come back and win the title? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see in 2015 what's going to happen. At the beginning of the show, we had Bobby Roode come down the ring, who was pissed off about Lashley's brutal attack on Eric Young and Austin Aries, and basically calls him out to fight, and said it's not about the TNA Heavyweight Championship. You'll get your title shot tonight. It's about a fight, and I want to fight you. So get your ass out here. Well, Lashley comes down. They start brawling, and it's a good brawl until it's broken up. Now, here's where things get interesting. MVP is pissed at people not taking him serious, calling him a manager, calling him a mouthpiece, and he interferes in the Sarge Chris Mendez Kenny King match and brutally beats the crap out of Mendez. MVP beats the crap out of him. Well, later in the show, he's confronted by Kurt Angle. And MVP's had enough and beats the shit out of Angle, leaving them laying with King saying, What are you doing? So MVP comes down the ring and makes it clear that, he tells him that he did what should have been done a long time ago. So toward the end of the show, Kurt Angle comes down and says that he's got to contact the board of directors to find out what kind of appropriate action will be taken against MVP. MVP comes out and says, "Oh, you're going to go and hide behind your board and have me fired." Angle says, "No, I'm not going to have you fired. I'm going to beat the shit out of you." They start brawling and going back and forth. King starts jumping them, and it's a 2-on-1. Anderson comes down. He starts beating the crap out of King. Then Lashley comes down, spears Anderson, and then Bobby Roode comes down. Bobby Roode hits King, tosses him out of the ring, and Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode go at it as the show ends. So, when are we going to see Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship? Obviously, sometime in 2015, but when's that going to happen? I don't know. What's going to happen with Kurt Angle and MVP? I look for a match between those two. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But we're not going to find out until 2015. Okay, it was a great show. We had two champions, Loki and Terrell. It was a hard choice, but I gave the final Superstar of the Week award to Terrell because she really busted her ass off and has worked hard to get that TNA Knockouts title, and she really truly deserves to be Superstar of the Week. Now, the big thing I've been talking about on the show, what's going to happen in 2015 for TNA. Okay, it is official. TNA does have a TV deal. They will now be on Discovery's Destination America channel. Depending on your cable system, you may already have the channel, or you may have to upgrade your cable package or your satellite package. It's up to you, but for myself, I'm going to bite the bullet and upgrade my cable so I can see TNA. I love TNA, if you hadn't figured it out by now. I've never said that TNA is better than WWE or vice versa. I just say that TNA is an alternative. And I've been to 5 of their house shows, and I've had a great experience every single time. And the wrestlers are so approachable and so friendly. It's beyond ridiculous how great these guys and women interact with the fans. I mean, you can't put words about it. And it's affordable. That's the thing. It's affordable. Okay? And I'm going to give you a comparison. The last TNA house show I went to was January of this year. Of course, I bought 3 tickets. One for myself, one for my niece, and my sister went to help me with my niece. But, just taking into consideration, my ticket, which was about $75, the backstage pass that I bought, that was $50, and taking into the consideration of the figure that I bought to have autographed by Austin Aries, I spent roughly almost $150 or $175 and I met everybody on the card. Everybody. Okay? And you've probably heard this story before, so I know I might be boring you, but still, my family bought me for my birthday. They bought me the WWE VIP experience package for a WWE house show in Tallahassee in July. And this was the house show right before Battleground that took place in Tampa. They spent $600 on that ticket. I only met 2 WWE superstars. And don't get me wrong, they were super approachable, super nice. I'm talking about Cesaro and Sheamus. But still, I didn't expect to meet everybody on the card because that would have been, that wasn't going to happen. But I expected at least meet at least 4 superstars, at least. So, I think you get a more fan experience for bang for your buck from TNA. And that's just my opinion. But the rumors is there's possible going to reboot. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Talks of a additional show for TNA. I've always said they needed another show, so this is going to be great. But nevertheless, it's a brand new world for TNA. They got a 2-year deal with Destination America. We're going to see what happens. Spike TV, I wish you good luck in your future endeavors. You're going to need it because you can only go so far with reruns of Cops and such. Okay, guys, so what does that mean? Okay, this is it for Making an Impact YouTube show for 2014. However, I will finish out the rest of the year with the return of Pipe Bomb. Yes, I am just going to go all out, full barrel, no filter, just tell it like it is, what I've got on my mind, and you never know what I'm going to say, so Pipe Bomb's coming back. You'll see it this Thanksgiving weekend, so be prepared. Yes. Alright, guys. Hey, thank you for making, no pun intended, for making an Impact YouTube show a success on the you guys on the Nerdport Network. I really appreciate you guys' support. On the average, 30 to 38 views. I really appreciate it, guys. You don't know how much it means to me. I really enjoy doing this and such. So let me get a few plugs in real quick. My good buddy John P. Mayer, you got to check out his independent point of view blog talk radio show on the Nerdport Network. You got to check it out. He's got his finger on the pulse of independent wrestling. He's got connections, my man. He's getting interviews. He's getting independent wrestlers on his show. He's got finger on the pulse, man. Especially Pro Wrestling Syndicate. Okay, I'm telling you, you got to check it out. Also, you got to check out the Wrestling Debate. You know, John P. Mayer's on there. I'm on there, and you never know who else is going to be on there. And we just, we let it go. We let it fly. So you got to check it out. That's also on the Nerdport Network. Both of these shows on the Nerdport Network, Blog Talk Radio. So check it out. So that's it for Making an Impact in 2014. I will see you back in 2015 for more of Making an Impact. And like I said, come back and check me out in Pipe Bomb. I've been your host, Simply Sensational Billy James, and I do approve this message. Fact.